Welcome back, everybody. This is an amendment to my original first and only YouTube video titled My Music Room and Guitar Collection. We're going to call this Revised Guitar Collection. I sold a few since then and replaced a few. So starting out here, we've got a PRS, Paul Reed Smith, Custom 24 guitar. That's awesome. It's got a pretty cool finish on it. It's got the flame maple top. It's mahogany body. It's got the tremolo, as everybody see on there, a little whammy bar. It's got the cool inserts and inlays for all the markers, the bird inlays, which is famous, and as far as I know, it's just strictly to PRS, Paul Reed Smith guitars. You'll notice also on here, we've got the locking tuning pegs on it. It's a pretty cool guitar to play. Rosewood neck. Not much more to say, it's awesome. And this one here originally came with a round 5 selection switch. It's been changed over to a 3-position toggle switch. Still works fine, sounds great. Okay, following that, next to it, we've got another awesome guitar, a Jackson Soloist S1. And starting out the bottom, you'll see that they've got just a cool little Floyd Rose tremolo set up here. Pretty heavy duty. I don't have the bar on here, but the bar screws in. And so, really cool bridge. Seymour Duncan humbucker pickup, and then 2 single coil Seymour Duncan pickups. It's got just an awesome sound. This one here is kind of a burled maple top finish. And again, the shark fin abalone pearl inlays. And not much more I can say on that. Just an awesome guitar to play. Rosewood neck. Fun stuff. Next here we've got a cool Strat. I'm kind of a Strat person at heart. This one right here is a 62 reissue Strat, and a lot of neat things about this. Number one, the vintage pick guard and pickups and select switch there are all antique to look vintage. So we also have the chrome bridge cover that both all the Strats and Tellies used to have, and up till I don't know what year they stopped doing that, in the 60s I believe, but I'm not an expert there and don't really know for sure. But that's kind of cool. So that comes off. And you've got just your standard 5-point bridge, which was common back then. It's got the clay dot markers in there, which I had in the early years, which are cool. And one string tree on top. And if we turn the guitar around, you'll see here too that the tuning pegs are all the vintage style tuning pegs as well, which are pretty awesome. Also, you want to point out that the vintage serial numbers on the older guitars were stamped in on the bolt plate, as this one is. Okay, then last but not least, because this is a half of the collection we're going to set up for the second half, we've got a Les Paul Studio. That's done in mahogany, and this is vintage. It's supposed to be vintage 1957 neck is what they put on these mahogany guitars. And this guitar is actually for sale on eBay if you're interested. I've got another one coming in. And that's got the covered humbucker pickups. I don't exactly know what model. The trapezoid pearl, mother of pearl inlays, which are really cool. And this one as well, if I turn it around, we'll take a quick look. Has the old Kluson vintage style machine heads as well. And again, made in the USA. All these guitars are made in the USA, so that's a pretty cool thing. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break and come back and look at the second half. So we're going to go. Okay, over here we've got a 1995 Fender Telecaster. It's done with a maple neck. Vintage white is the color. I love that color. It's one of my favorites with the white pickguard. I think it's great. Not much else to say about it. Good sounding guitar. Got the 3-position selector switch. Tone and volume. It does a great job. Okay, this one next to it here is what I consider the Strat of all Strats. These G&L Stratocasters sound more like Strats than Strats do, and this was the last guitar company that Leo Fender owned before he passed away in 1991. Started these guys in 1980 or 1982, I don't remember which, somewhere around there. G&L. Stood for George and Leo. And this happens to be a model that's in tribute to George, which was Leo's partner. And he worked for Leo at Fender for several years. George Fullerton is his name. And this is a signature guitar, and you can see here that he signed both the body and he signed up here on the headstock. And the cool thing about these guitars is they have a superior bridge to any Strat. And I love Strats. I mean, I've owned several Fender Strats, and it's still a pretty cool guitar. This is a replica of a 1958 Stratocaster with the V-neck on there. That was George Fullerton's favorite. It's also got a designed pickup that George Fullerton designed. And it's got some great sounds to it. So they got great pickups. A really beefy super bridge with the tremolo built in, which you can see. 2-point tremolo, which you really want over the 5-point. Fender eventually realized that the 2-point tremolo was much superior than this ones with the 5 screws in there, as you see in some of the vintage guitars. Then we'll look at the back of this. This has got a rosewood neck, and on the back of this, if we can focus in a little bit, we might be able to capture a little bit of the V-neck, and that's what the V-neck is. It's a V-shaped, and if you've never played one, you can really feel the difference on that versus a C-neck or a D-neck, which most guitars are somewhere around there. Also on that, it's got the Spurgle locking tuners, which are really cool as well. So this is pretty much like a Fender Strat Deluxe guitar with all the features on it, but that's a really cool guitar to play, and I love that two-tone wood color. We'll spin it back around, but you can see through the wood grain itself. Okay, and last but not least, we'll go to my 2 acoustic guitars. This one right here is a Ovation Celebrity, full-bodied, full bowl. You can zoom in and see that. It's the full width. And that's done in the basic sunburst, vintage sunburst finish. Nice guitar. And that was bought new back in about 1984, I believe 1984 or 85. Then last but not least is my newest addition, my acoustic electric. It's a breed love, and it's a model AD25 SM. And this is a really cool guitar. It's got the spruce top and the mahogany body and neck, and it sounds really cool as well. This also has the abalone dot inlays on it, which so does the G&L Strat that we just talked about. It sounds really good. One of these days maybe I'll do a few videos and we'll listen to the sound of some of these guitars. But basically that's the collection. I've got some other things that we won't put up here, some banjos and travel guitar and a bass guitar and that type of thing, but just things to play around with. So appreciate everybody taking the time to look, and rock on.